Good day to you, viewers. You're welcome to the maiden edition of the program Untold Story here on SportsLink. Definitely, it's that time where we bring to you those who have given their all to the most populous black nation on earth, Nigeria. And interestingly, today we have one man known for his unusual, colorful hairstyle during his playing days. Taribo West is his name. He played for Internazionale Milano and AC Milan. Tell me another Nigerian who played for both sides, but you can always remember Taribo West donning the jersey of these clubs at the San Siro. And I'm sure mentioning the San Siro will indeed bring back memories. He played with the best players you can talk about during his 8 days. Ronaldo Nazario de Lima. He donned the number 9 jersey for Internazionale Milano. Interestingly, Kando Nwankwo also played with him at Inter Milan. True. But one thing happened at Internazionale Milano. It has never happened again in football. While Ronaldo Nazario de Lima of Brazil wore the number 9 jersey, a Chilean, Ivan Zamorano, who previously wore the number 9 jersey, when Ronaldo came, had to give the number 9 jersey to Ronaldo de Lima. And at the end of the day, they gave Ivan Zamorano jersey number 9 plus 1. Yeah. It has never happened in football. But when the greats arrive the biggest stage, there is always a way to welcome our hero. And on today's edition, we welcome our hero on Untold Story. Welcome, Taribo West. It's nice to have you on the program.
Happy to see you, man. Happy to see you.
You're one man who has given, so much to football. But before we go into, today's discussion, what was that thing that led Taribo West to give that colorful hairstyle? Because that hairstyle brings out Taribo West from every other player on the pitch there.
One thing I was able to do is to be able to learn how to discover my abilities. Number one, as a defender, I was very fast. It's very difficult for an opposing striker to take me one-on-one or be more faster than me. Two, one-to-one in terms of dribbling, it's difficult to beat me one-to-one. Secondly, I was also gifted in so many areas in terms of the display skills. So if I'm coming, like for example, if I'm coming through from the back, I know how to do some body movements, dribbling, and two to beat one. So in the process of this, I have to check through my abilities, and they were enormous. So I decided to make a certain kind of trade that is going to just market me out there in the football world, and that's why I did. I went to some way somehow, make a certain kind of trademark, a design on my head, and as God will have it, it paid off.
Are you aware of the fact that former Arsenal striker,
yes,
Thierry Henry, said the most difficult defender he ever faced in world football was Taribo West? Are you aware of that? Did you see that interview?
Yes, I've seen that, and that is not those days when I was playing in France. Was opportune to study and play under the hands of a great tactician like Giroud. And what we do is that we play man-to-man marking. And to play that kind of role, you have to be very physically strong, and you have to get also an incredible work rate, and you have to also be somebody that you have a great, how do I say it, a great volume of strength. So we used to play one-on-one. So in case I'm marking an opposing attacker, who is the main striker of the team, even if he's in his 18-yard box. I have to go stay with him there. So in France, I developed, I used to do more additional training to build myself properly, not only for the team. After the collective training, I prepare myself physically for my own, addition to make sure that I stand out among my contemporaries and against my opponent. So I will not only mark you in the game, but I'll mark you till I mark you out of the field. So, so
Interesting.
So it was a style that was very different, and also a certain kind of way that is different in French soccer. So I did it a couple of times, or many times against my opponent strikers, and I will mark them out of the game. Then when they want to change them, I mark them out again from the field.
From the field.
And I think Terry used to be one of those guys that I used to mark those days, and I give them no space to break.
Interesting.
Yes.
And you made mention of French football, Taribo West. You moved to Auxerre.
Yeah.
And that was when Auxerre became the best team
Yes.
in the French league. What was your memories like with Auxerre Football Club?
Wonderful. We had incredible players like Musa Saib from Algeria. I was opportune to play with players like Alan Goma, who was playing French national team.
Alan.
Frank Silvers playing for French national team. Christophe Coca playing for French national team. I think we have a cream of great players then. Like 8 or 9 players were regulars in the French national team, and coupled with myself, Musa Saib, we have a player like this young guy from Algeria too. He's a striker, Tasfawot. We have also a player like African players there. We have players like who again? Ravari Boni.
Okay.
Was a left foot back, very incredible player, and also our captain then, Corentin Martin. So we have a solid and formidable team that can compete not only in French football with any team. And the year turned around to us, whereas we were able to make the difference that day. We became with that year, we became the champions in the French league and also became the champions in the FA league. So I was not a regular. If you put like the 11 players that will play in the beginning of the year to the end of the year, I'm not a regular player. But as soon as the season kick off, I'm going to start from the first game to the last game.
Interesting. And that was how Taribo marshaled the defense of Auxerre Football Club. We'll come back to French football and Auxerre precisely. Before I indeed forget, there's a lot to talk about, in the national team.
Yes.
The president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
What is your relationship? During his campaign, there were a lot of talks that Taribo was always with Asiwaju. He claims to be a pastor today, yet is supporting Asiwaju, APC and all that. It was all on social media. But let's ask you, what's your relationship with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu?
It has been far back, almost 20-something years ago. There was a time that I came with my friends here in Nigeria. There was this Taribo West and Plastic. I invite Ronaldo, Zamorano, George Weah, and the rest of others to just play a charity football match here in Nigeria, and they were able to accept the invitation to come here and play with us. So when we came to Nigeria, the first thing we did is to take a step first to go and see the governor in the State House, and we were opportune to meet him because he was then the governor of the state. In the process of that, I told him I was coming with my friends to come and have a fun time in Nigeria, and also bring these great lads also to use them as
to encourage
the younger
sports development and football development in Lagos and in Nigeria.
So he accepted the invitation, and he now asked, I think that Fashola was the chief of staff to talk to the FA, and in the process of that, they gave me the stadium free. From that time onset, Ashiwaju has become not only a very good friend of mine. He's just like a daddy that you can look up to. So, in any event that is coming up, maybe in the state or somewhere, somehow that is involved in one thing or the other, he will beckon for my, my idea or even presence. So we become friends for a long time. So people don't understand that. That is somebody that also in the mix of my contemporaries, every one of us that has met him one-on-one individually, he has assisted one person or the other.
One can talk about the Kano Arts Foundation and all that.
Kano Foundation, Okocha Testimonial March, Peter Rufai Foundation, and the rest. He has assisted one thing or the other. We are just family friends. With
Interesting.
Ashiwaju. So anytime we are being called upon in any event, maybe it's in his political affairs or that has to do with anything about his birthday or occasion or any other party event that we have been invited to appear, we'll make ourselves available because he's somebody that has given not only life to us, he has given a life to so many Africans and Nigerians in general.
Well, let's take a look at the 1994 era. 1994, Nigeria won the AFCON tournament in Tunisia. And we had, great squad. The defense was also very, very competitive.
Yes.
The Eagles were at their best ever in Nigerian football under Clemens Westerhoff.
Yes.
Taribo West has just won the French Ligue 1 title with Auxerre Football Club in the French Championnat.
That's right.
And it is only normal that a Taribo West comes to camp and brags about that. Even without bragging, your teammates will look at you and say, no, he's a champion in France. And he should be given that respect.
Yes. Yes.
But against all odds, Taribo,
Yes.
you were looking forward to appear with Nigeria at the first World Cup.
Yeah.
The first time Nigeria's green and white flag will be hoisted at the FIFA World Cup tournament.
Yes.
But unfortunately,
Yes.
you were dropped from that team.
Yeah.
Until date, it's still something you talk about. What was it like? And what did the coach tell you that you will not be a part of the team to the United States?
Personally, after the AFCON, the Nigeria won the AFCON with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I wasn't in that team that won the AFCON. But just as you mentioned, I won the French League and FA Cup, and I was also invited to the national team to compete for the rest of my colleagues that will go out to represent Nigeria in the World Cup stage. So I went to the camp. We have an incredible, solid Nigerian team, and also from the back four, they already have their team. But I see that even in the middle of that, through those back four, I can have a space. I know Keshi was there, Chidewanu, you have players like Emeka Izebu, you have Isaac Semitoje, you have players like Ndoko Gbade also in the team and all that. But I was also a younger player that is coming up, that I was also hoping that at least some way, somehow, if I go there to, exercise, my also my gifting in within the national team, I will be able to have a place. You have Uche Okechukwu, you have Austin Ogwadon, you have Benny Roham, very solid and mature, strong national defensive team. But I went to the camp, I did very well in the process of that, and in the last moment, Westerhoff looked at me and called me and said that he has a gift. Especially, he told everyone generally that he has a gift to everybody. He brought in a tie, gave the tie to everybody, and he called me personally. I went to his room and gave me the tie. The next thing he told me that You know, I've done my, you know,
Single shot.
I've done my, you know, my part. I did very well. I came to the national team. I was able to play and, you know, assimilate with the team. But in this team that is going to represent Nigeria and US 94, I am not in the very 22 players that they are going to, you know, selected and pick out to go for the tournament. So I was not only...
Sorry, sir. Please, can you just give us single shot of Taribo while he's talking about this, you know, Eagles team? So continue.
Okay, so I was not only unhappy, I was disappointed. I said, are you dropping me in the team, Westerhoff? You look at me. I said, you dropping me in the team? I say, time will come, you Westerhoff. You come looking for me, and you will regret ever the decision you took to drop me out from this team. That I'm a better player than most of the lads you are carrying to the national team, to the World Cup. So he said, okay, I had you, but you know you have done your part, you have done your best. Thank you for your services. I have to release you to go. So I went to the room, I picked up my bag, and then I left the camp. To cut this to a long story short, in less than 2 years, just as I mentioned, he came to the national team looking for me that I'm a man.
Okay.
So it ended that way, and Nigeria was also very, for the first time appearing in the World Cup. They went there and they did very well in that tournament. Only we were lacking experience in that stage to see how we can pass through.
And let's take a look at Atlanta 1996. There were talks that in the final,
Yes.
the Brazilian national team
Yeah.
were camped in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
But the Nigerian team was not camped in an hotel. Rather, it was a motel.
Yes, motel.
Can you indeed share the experience of Team Nigeria in Atlanta, the first African side that won the gold medal
Yes.
when it comes to football at the Olympics level?
Before we left, you know, me and if you can remember, we did some practicing matches here in Nigeria. We played, I think, Congo. We lost 3-1 here in Lagos at the National Stadium. And I think we played one other game. We did, we played a draw. And the Football Association was not really sure if this is really the dream team. And they were not sure that these lads were going out in this Olympics and they were going to bring back the gold. They were not sure of that. So when we left Nigeria,
Nobody would have thought of that.
When we left Nigeria, and earlier, we left Nigeria very early before the
On
tournament.
song.
Yes. So on song, and we left Nigeria very early. We got to US, and we ran into a lot of problems. There was no fund released to the team because we were under 23. It wasn't really the first national team, so we are the second team B. So money funds were not left for us for our accommodation or feeding on the rest. Money that we were using were personal money.
Allowances were not, bonuses were not there.
There were no bonuses, there were no allowances. We were using our personal funds. Secondly, Bonfere, who was the coach of the national team, was helping to assist from everything that was coming from his hand. So we're in the motels, and one day we came back after the training. The hotel has seized all our properties because the hotel has not been paid for days, and the cars also we're using for transportation because we're using personal cars which we rented from the rentage transportation office. So we ran into this problem for weeks, and some way somehow we're able to connect the Nigerian consulate in New York. We're able to speak to the Nigerian Football Association here in Nigeria, and they were able to provide us a certain kind of fund. Even with that, it was limited. The good thing is that every one of us playing in that team were doing well. So we're able to take care of some of our needs in the States. But as God will have it, we left the shore of Nigeria very early. And in the middle of all this distraction, we were focused. And we were giving all our all when it comes in terms of training, and also the demands of the coaches. Were trying to put all together from the assistant coach, blessed memory, Badwin Bazwaye, Abdullahi, Musa Abdullahi, and Bonfire. So we're just putting every of their, every of their this thing, every of their this thing together. So in the process of that, we went out for our first game. We won. We won our first game. I think our first game was against Hungary. We beat them, at least we beat Hungary, I think it was 2-1. Then we played against Japan. We beat Japan. Then we played our last match against, I think, Spain. We beat Spain. Then we went for the quarter final against the Brazilian national. Was it Brazil in the quarter final? No, the quarter final was against Mexico. We beat the Mexican team. No. Sorry, what am I saying?
Brazil was in the semi-final.
Brazil was with us in the same group.
We're in the same group with Brazil. They beat Nigeria 1-0.
They beat us 1-0 in the last game.
The last game of the group.
We won our first two games.
Yes.
So they beat us in the group game. So we meeting them again in the semis. They thought it was going to be the same history because they have met us in the preliminaries, and they beat us in the preliminaries, and they thought it's going to be the same history. But thank God, that day the first half was very difficult because before we know we are almost 2 goals down. We are 2 goals down before we know we're almost 3 goals down. That's why I think we came in to score 1. Then we went into the second half, and we have to speak to ourselves because when we went into the dressing room, we look at all the preparation we have gone through, the trial moments, the moments where we are without funds. We have to help ourselves, to encourage ourselves to fight to get here, and we can't just throw in the towel here and leave this tournament in this stage. So we encourage ourselves one another after the pep talk of the coaches, and we decided we are going to go into this match to give all what we have and make sure at the end of the day we put these Brazilians down. And that was the determination in the second half, and that was the spirit we took to the field, and at the end of the day it turned towards us and we were able to beat the Brazilians.
Indeed. I'm talking about that moment when Nigeria, against all odds, won the gold medal at the Atlanta 1996 Olympic Games. If you're still watching the program, definitely, you can always indeed log on and watch this on YouTube. It is www.goldenctv.com. Let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at more with our hero in the studio, Taribo West. Indeed, Untold Story of Taribo West.
Happy when you play with renewed, repackaged Bet WGB.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, you're indeed watching the untold story of Taribo West, one man who played in different continents, from Nigeria, where he played for Banta United, Enugu Rangers, and I wouldn't know if Taribo still remembers this anthem. Holy, 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 Enugu Rangers, another champion. Oh, yeah. That's the beauty. Yes, yeah. Yes.
Never say die.
Never say die. Rangers International of Enugu, the Flying Antelopes. Yeah. See, there is no way you will come across a player who donned the jersey of Enugu Rangers and will not know that song. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. That's the anthem of Enugu Rangers. Before they kick off any match, they go to their fans and they sing the song. Oli, 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 Enugu Rangers. So Taribo West indeed played for Banta, played for Enugu Rangers, played for Sharks. If I'm not making a mistake, definitely. And played for that's a JB in Lagos. And interestingly, played in France with Auxerre, played in England, played in Italy. He has traveled wide. And definitely, I'm sure Taribo would be indeed sharing with us how he missed out playing for teams like Arsenal and Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson met with Taribo West,
Yes.
wanted him to come to Manchester United, but just for one thing, Taribo did.
Yes.
Ferguson did not sign him for Manchester United. Who knows? It could have been a partnership of Rio Ferdinand and Taribo West for Manchester United. If you didn't know, you will be hearing from the horse's mouth on the show. But quickly, let them indeed come back. Yes, Taribo is all smiles. It's all memories at this point in time. You know, that's the untold story of Taribo West. I'm sure you will get to know much more about that.
Yes.
But quickly, let them indeed come to the stage where you moved from Auxerre
Yes.
to Inter Milan.
Yeah.
What was it like? What happened? Why did you have to leave Auxerre Football Club? And what was it like when you got to San Siro and you had an all-star team? Because the Inter Milan then,
Yes.
you know, was like the Real Madrid of
Yes.
today.
Today,
Yes.
Or the how do you call it? The Chelsea of today.
The Chelsea of today.
It was amazing because after my 4.5 years in Auxerre, I was ready to go. Arsenal were coming. I see that then Arsenal was in pursuit of myself and Uchi. Okay, Chuku. In the two, they want to get one of us. Then the good thing is that I have an incredible relationship with my coach in Auxerre. He see me as his black son. And I wanted to at least leave Auxerre. He was trying to see if I can remain and, you know, continue with the thing. But I thought
It was
it's
the
time
right
for
time
me
to move on.
to move on. So, one good afternoon, just like as we are here right now in the studio, I just burst into his office just to go and see him and to find out if there is any information from any team calling from Europe. And I got into his office. He just called me, come. And so I came in. He said, this is the man I want to introduce you to. There was a young gentleman with him, and he said, this is the man. I want you to see me, and I want you to see this man. So he introduced me to the man and said, work with this man. And I'm sure whatever clubs you need or you are just waiting to hear from, he will get information. So I said, okay. I introduced myself. The man said, don't introduce, I know you already. Are you not Taribo West? You are, okay. Which club or which country are you looking up to? I said, well, I think Arsenal has interest on me. And I also have had Glasgow, because Glasgow is also calling. You know, also, he said, those teams are not really teams. He said, I think I know the team that will fit you. I said, how? He said, I think Juventus Football Club in Italy would like a player like you. So in my presence, he called...
Arrigo Sacco?
No, he called the sporting director of Juventus. It's called Moggi.
Luciano Moggi, apologies. Luciano Moggi, apologies. Yes.
He called Moggi direct from my presence. And Moggi said, oh, they love a player like that, but they don't have interest on him. So in the process of us dealing with that, this team from Spain came in.
Valencia?
No.
Atletico?
No. Finidi just from
Real Betis Balompié.
Betis came. In fact, they sent a delegate to the
club.
So where they came in and they were offering good money and all that, and it was good offer. So the coach now advised me that I should talk with this man. We should go to Spain and find out to see if they are offering if they are offer and whatever,
the facilities, what you would like, and
if I would like the ambience and the environment and stuff. I said, okay, it will be a good idea. So we left for Spain the following day with
the delegates.
Yes, we got there. It was nice. We saw the president. He was ready to go for vacation. He brought in a contract, brought in a good money that I should sign, take this good money to go and enjoy myself on vacation. And We should see after the break. So my manager said, this is fine. This is not your ultimate, and this is not the team I think is best for you. So from the Betis office, he called Inter Milan and called the director of sports. It's been a long time.
Massimo Moratti?
No, Moratti. Moratti is the president of the club.
Mazzol. Okay.
Yes, call Mazzola. So from there, I called Mazzola. Mazzola picked the phone and said, which of the players? He said, I'm right now with this young man. He's just about to finish with Oxel. It's terrible. He said, if it's terrible, their eyes has been on him for a long time. They need him. That we should give him the next 3 hours. This is happening right in the office of Sevilla Betis. So we should give him 3 hours, that even to that very day, the Italian Federation will decide if they are going to allow 5 foreigners to play in their domestic league. So we give them 5 hours. In the process of that, we have to create a certain kind of scene so that I will not be able to sign the contract with
Real Betis. Because they've offered the contract already.
It's already on the table. It looked like our last solution. So my manager now has to create a certain kind of scene to make a trouble with the president that this offer is not good and this offer is too small, that issue. He created a certain and they run into a certain kind of clash. So now it was difficult for me. What they did is that they have to bring the security man to pull him out of the office.
So you had to take advantage of that.
Yes, that's what we did. And I have to take advantage of that. Number one, I can
read
Spanish
for yourself.
And I can't even write Spanish. So even if I'm going to sign, let us leave it till tomorrow. So I'm going to come with him. We'll get the Spanish. He speaks very good Spanish, and we'll get maybe another translator to help me. And so they said, okay, no problem. They allow us. They give us a bus. They gave me a bus to drop me at the hotel with my manager. So that very evening by 8, the phone call came in that they have allowed 5 foreigners to play in the domestic Italian league. That's how we decided that, they send us a ticket immediately from Milan, one for myself, one for my manager, and from there we shoot from Betis to Milan direct. So getting to Milan, we have to go to the clubhouse. From the clubhouse, we meet Mazzola. From the Mazzola, they take me to the presentation straight to the city.
For the unveiling.
Straight to the city,
The San Siro.
Not the San Siro himself.
Yes, I know.
But the clubhouse.
The clubhouse.
They have a window where they will bring you out for you to hold the jersey or the club jersey, and they just unveil you there immediately. Then the rest ceremony will come later. So that's what happened, and that's how I signed in Inter Milan. And that was the story of Inter Milan. So from there, that's how the journey of Inter Milan started.
Massive. When the money is right, indeed, footballers are always ready to move. And you can see what Taribo revealed about how they had to snub Real Betis Balompié in Spain to move.
Good money.
To Internazionale Milan.
Good money.
Good money.
Good money. Then.
It's not the move you hear about Nigerian players today.
Yes.
You hear a player move for 200,000. No. Good money. Then, for an African footballer, for a footballer who indeed knows his onions and them oh, it's fun in the studio today.
JJ. Oh, that is football. JJ. Forget. I don't think Nigeria in our generation will get a player like JJ again. Can never.
That was the Pele of Nigerian football.
What are you talking about? JJ. Oh, it's football. JJ is football. So the players I played with, these 3 players are just class of their own world. You can't compare any of them to anybody. They are just there.
Well, tell us.
Yes.
The journey of becoming a pastor started in Italy. But before we come there, you played for AC Milan also.
Yes.
And we have talked about you on the verge of signing for Manchester United.
Yes.
Tell us, what happened? How come You didn't play for Manchester United.
I started in within that process was then that this born again euphoria came in. After 96 Atlanta gold medal we won. A previous night to that final, a sister who was a prophet had a revelation. The Lord met her. And that very night she has a revelation that she should go to the Nigerian national team camp. Is this young man that he has called is having a dread that young man has been called, that through her I will get my salvation. So the woman came into our event. After the final, we were invited by the Nigerian embassy for a small feast like that to celebrate. You know, I was in the meeting with all my colleagues. We were enjoying ourselves, taking some meals. So a lady stumbled into the occasion and saw me from far there. You know, she came to me and said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine." I said, "What is your name?" I said, "I am Mr. No Name." He said, "Where do you live?" I said, "I live nowhere." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "I do nothing." So she was embarrassed by my, my approach, and she left the space. In less than 2 minutes, I had a slap, heavy slap on my back. Bam! So I turned. I thought this was one of my colleagues. I turned. As I turned, I see nobody. I just had an audible voice in my ears to my heart. "Do you know who you spoke to? Do you know who came to you? Turn, run after that lady." Yeah, it was like a Robocop. I turned, I was looking at the woman all over the hall. And I find her a bit in a distance. So I run after her. I'm now the one begging to give her my card, give her my address, tell her where I'm living, tell her what I do. So she said one word to me. She looked at me and brought her card and gave me that. Any day you have a spiritual problem or you have a problem and you don't know what to do, give me a call. Then I was playing for France. I was playing in France. Then I took the card. I went back to France. From France, I journeyed back my transfer to Italy. So I'm talking with her every now and then, every now and then like that. So in the process of that, she said she had a vacation, that she's looking for where she's going to spend her time in the vacation. And I said, "Okay, no problem. Come to Milan and spend your vacation. I'll take care of all your expenses. No problem." She said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I'll take care of your. If you want to come with your children or anybody, I'm ready. Just tell me what you want to do." So she said, "Okay." She rang me later and I'll send her the ticket. Me and it's a long story. I send her the ticket. When coming, she had a certain kind of contestation. How? I sent her a ticket. The ticket was blocked. She couldn't access it. Only for her to fly from, she stays in Dallas. From Dallas, she fly to Washington. From Washington, she was able to take a direct flight to Milan. Getting to Washington, the ticket just took her from Dallas to Washington. From Washington to Milan, there was nothing. And she couldn't find her name in the system. She couldn't find her name in anything. And the ticket has been paid for and sent. So I now have to call my ticket office again. "Please, the woman has called me. Her name is not in the system. Give me a prepaid ticket right now. Send it," because she's at the airport and she's somehow, some way, she's stranded. So my ticket office has to do a first class prepaid ticket to get from Washington direct to Italy, Milan. As God will have it, she got the ticket. She came over. I went to pick her at the airport. From the airport, she got into my car, I just put in a Christian music. not knowing that that Christian music I put inside was an incredible inspiration, and it's like a flame that just kick our system up. Only for me to drive out to my house, I now open the door for her to enter in. She paused a while and asked me, how do I live in this kind of environment? I say, how? I said, please, mommy, enter, because me, I have some few minutes I have to adjust. I went to pick up because I need to leave back to training. She said, what gave me the audacity and authority to live in this kind of environment? I said, what are you talking about? She just ignored me and tried to manage to enter because I need to go. So I left her, then I went for training. When I came back, she said, what we do, we need to pray. So she called on me for us to just have a small time to pray. Me, and when that lady started praying, the heaven erupted.
How do you mean?
All the demons in my house, all the, because then I was living my own thing. My manager used to take me to Senegal, and we used to go there, look for charms, because he's into all these Senegalese marabouts. Voodoo. Take me to good marabouts, and he will cook me, and when they cook me, they say, no goal is going to pass.
Single shot on Taribo.
So no goal is going to pass, and nothing will happen, and they will give me a lot of, this talisman, a certain kind of liquid like libation that I'm going to make incantations and all that. They will give me a lot, even soap. They will give me a lot of things with cream, and you just pack them, fix them in a box like this. They will give me, I'll take them home, and at the end of the day, you apply all those things, still go to the field, they will still score. So all those things, I still pack them over to Italy, and they were in my house as protection. I'm not talking about the ones that I know here in Nigeria that I will come back home to consult, and I will pay enough money for them to do me rituals. It was too much. It was too much, man. It's something that it was too much. So I spent money in all those things. Coming to play in Nigeria, you miss some of all these alfas, native chief priests. They will take me to the waterside, will pray, they will light candle, they will put incense, all kind of fragments, and the next thing they will beat you. You come to the national team, because it's all about power, and you have to also demonstrate the kind of power you also, you're having within you to play against your colleagues who are competing with you, and your opponent also, because football has two kind of world. It's either you are playing with the fetish power, or you play with the genuine spirit of God. So I got all those things. Those things were in my house. Me, and the ones in the kitchen, the ones I keep in my room. So when this woman started praying, everything starts, everything started erupting. My window will open, and
Really?
yes, this is life story. My transformation and encounter is not by accident, because it's something I experienced, and I saw God. I saw God one-on-one through that woman. When I say God, I experienced him. When I say I saw God one-on-one, people don't understand. I just the language. I experienced him. Well, that's what I'm talking about. So my windows and all the food I have in my kitchen, rice, gari, whatever it is there, from the cupboard all stumbled and all that. When she finished with me, I saw that something has broken off me. Something just broke off me. For the first time, I had peace. Because I didn't have peace. When you are into that world, your hand is into everything at the same time. And you are consulting everything at the same time, to play with everything at the same time. And I have people calling me every week. They will give me, the result of the match, what is going to happen, this is going to happen. At the end, they see These people see, but at the end of the day, they are not able to give you solution. Yeah, they see. They will tell you what will happen in the game. True, those things will happen. You see it, what will happen. But at the end of the day, you don't have anything you can fall back to that can secure you. Yeah, so we're playing. I played with that for a long years. There was an interview I made. I say footballers play with juju, and some people came out and say I play with it. I played with it for a long years, and at the end of the day, I was always having trouble. Always having trouble because they will say it's going to, yes, it's going to be okay, yes, and you see things are going to get better. But as you win 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, the next thing you go down, you don't have anything you can. The thing is not consistent. So, to cut a long story short, Mien, she came from Italy. She came, and after that prayer, that was the transition of my life from a footballer to become a pastor. And from that day on, I did not just look back anymore. I zero into that with everything I am.
Well, why not? We can always your church, if you want, you can say it here. If you want people to come around, where you pastor today, where you minister today.
It's not my church. I'm just just how they call it, the founder. Okay. The owner of the church is Jesus Christ.
Okay.
We have our Sunday to Sunday we meet, and our fellowship center is just at number 20 Alfred Olaya Street, between Allen Okpebi here in Ikeja, not too far, in Salvation bus stop. It's very known and very easy place to access. Every Sunday we are there at number 20 Alfred Olaya Street, Salvation bus stop, Allen Okpebi. It's a very known place. Everybody knows that environment.
We've taken so much. We've taken so much of your time, but just tell us the final one. How you missed out playing for Manchester United.
Well, it's something I also have to, advise the younger generation in the process of your career. Be very disciplined and learn how to follow instructions, and also don't go beyond your limits. Because then, this sometimes football is very intoxicating. When you begin to make money, popularity, fame, and prestige comes into you. This ego, or these other spirits,
pride,
pride of life and all that. So there was a match I wasn't playing too well when I was in Inter Milan. The coach now asks for them to bring me out so that somebody else can enter. Then I was very angry. I went and I took my jersey and I threw at him. That incident blocked me from playing for United, Arsenal, and some other big teams like even Barcelona, because they were not happy with that kind of a player like my type who is there at the pinnacle, and I came in with a certain kind of behavior that is not acceptable at those rankings. So that limit me from playing.
You met one-on-one with Sir Alex Ferguson.
I met Ferguson. Ferguson, in fact, has to ask Limpy.
Marcello Lippi.
Limpy many times. What is this terrible? And he gave Limpy just say this one, forget him. It's crazy. That's how they went to buy Sylvester. That's how they buy Sylvester. Arsene brought me 4 times. Sat with him one-on-one. 4 seasons. You can ask Kano. Pay the hotel, pay my flight fee, take care of my transportation, give me a place to stay. At the end of the day, after the discussion, he will look at me and say, why do you throw your jersey to your coach? I said, I don't know what come upon me.
Attitude, like they say,
yes,
bad attitude. Everything.
Bad attitude.
Pastor Taribo West.
Yes.
You are a hero to be celebrated.
Thank you.
We will continue to celebrate you. You've given so much to Nigerian football and also football itself at the highest level. And definitely, as a pastor today, one who wins souls for Christ,
Yes.
it is our prayer that on this journey,
Yeah.
you finish strong.
Amen.
Like they say in football,
Yeah.
it is not how you start
Yes.
that matters.
Yes.
It is he who ends the game,
Yeah.
provided he ends it well.
Well, yeah.
Pastor Taribo West,
Thank you.
it's our prayer that this ministry you've started,
Amen.
you will finish strong.
Amen.
You will not fall
Amen.
by the wayside.
Amen.
Many thanks, Pastor Taribo West,
Thank you.
for talking to us on the
Bless.
program.
I'm happy.
Amen.
Happy.
Amen.
Happy.
Amen.
Thank you.
Well, that's the much time will permit us, and definitely next week we'll be bringing someone special on the show, Untold Story. Me and Akiri, dropping our call.